welcome to the lunation situation. We are embarking upon the first eclipse of 2025, and it kind of is the signature of March. March is eclipse season. You know, eclipses come in pairs. So the first one is March 14th. That's the one we're discussing today. It's a total lunar eclipse, and it's occurring at 23 degrees of Virgo. 2 weeks after, we're going to have a solar eclipse at 9 degrees or 8 degrees of Aries, and that is at the end of March. And also March 30th, we have a very big event because Neptune is going to change sign. It's going to move into Aries, and that occurs once every 165 years. March is a very hectic, very intense month. Right at the start of March, we have Venus going retrograde and is going to play with actually both eclipse points, because she's going to go retrograde and then she's going to go direct in April and move across the second eclipse point in Aries as well. Mercury is retrograde in March too. The day after this eclipse, Mercury is also retrograde. So we have two huge personal planets going retrograde. We have just come out of an intense 3-month Mars retrograde. Mars is now direct since 3 weeks during this lunation. So not in its full potential power, not in full drive, but still better than where we were a couple of months ago. So a lot of retrogrades means a lot of reflective energy, a lot of stillness, needing to process whatever is going on, needing to reevaluate and look over things again, because apparently some things aren't working in our favor anymore. So yeah, 2 eclipses in March, 2 personal planets going retrograde in March, and Neptune moving into Aries. It's a turbo month. It's the start of a huge roller coaster ride that's going to take us to places at least 4 months, because, you know, a lot of planets are changing signs. Uranus is going to do that. Jupiter is going to do that. Saturn is going to do that. So the coming months are a true roller coaster, but it starts in March. So yeah, back to our topic, the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Now, a lunar eclipse, like I said, is like a full moon, but on steroids, maximum electric power and possibly destructiveness, as full moons are always about endings, completion, things rounding up, things being revealed, sometimes pretty uncomfortable as well, things we didn't understand before, didn't see before, are now shoved in front of our faces, and we have to deal with them. It can be intensely emotional, full moons. And so all those topics quadruple because it's an eclipse. It's a total eclipse because the node is very close to the lunation. In this case, 4 degrees. This is why it's a total lunar eclipse. And that just means that, you know, extra steroids, turbo boosters are added to this lunar full moon eclipse. Eclipses are very fated times, which is why they're interplaying with the nodes, which is about your fate, which is about your destiny, which is about karma, and the very changing up of your life experiences. It means that, you know, you can quickly, suddenly, out of nowhere, change in places, change in people and emotions, behavior. So eclipses tend to eclipse something in or eclipse something out, or both. When it's a lunar eclipse, it tends, the vibe is that something is being eclipsed out. And so it has the nature of Uranus, right? An eclipse, so it's fast, it's shocking, it's sudden, and it's like a thunderbolt, right? And we're being shook, we're being shaken awake, and just like Uranus, it can mean breakdowns, breakthroughs, and breakouts, honestly. So the idea is that your soul needs to evolve and liberate itself from any confinement. Then we look at the zodiac sign, which is Virgo. This is where the South Node is at. The South Node has entered Virgo approximately since January, so pretty fresh, first 2 months in. And we are done with the Virgo energy. What is that? We are done with controlling situations. We are done with programming, organizing, improving. Although, in my own experience, even though we're getting rid of a lot of those things, I've actually, in fact, been cleaning up the whole house, ordering everything. You know, it's been a while that I bought extra containers to fit everything into little boxes and all that. So actually, I've been doing the South Node, or actually, I've been doing the Virgo energy, I should say. So maybe you have felt that too, this increasing sense of order, cleanups, you know, getting things in line, checking, you know, your accounts or your bank account, you know, just ordering your life. But the problem is with a South Node, it's actually not where we're at. But that's the weird duality of a South Node, in this case Virgo, because at one hand, this is our talent, you know, that can also show off, like in my case, the need to order, the need to clean, the need to improve your environment, your life. And, you know, Virgo is also about health, so nutrition, exercise, health of, you know, alternative medicine or anything, supplements, you know, and even learning about these things. And of course, Virgo is also about service, always helping other people. Maybe more than you should or more than you're able to give. These are Virgo talents, and of course not necessarily bad. It's just that we're done with it. It needs to change. We need to let go of the need to control, to order, knowing that there is no order, there is chaos, there is a deep need to let go. And it's weird because, you know, there is a way of letting go through cleaning up, through ordering, you know? So maybe, like me, you feel the urge to do so that you're more able to let go, actually more of the emotional stuff and maybe the density that you feel in the air, because March is so heightened, energetics, it can feel very overwhelming. And of course, if you have anything around 23, 24 degrees of Virgo, you're targeted. But also if you have 23, 24 degrees, you know, give or take 2-3 degrees on both sides, as well in Pisces, as well as in Sagittarius and Gemini, you are being eclipsed personally. It is key that you look at where 23 to 24 degrees falls in your chart of Virgo. So 23, 24 degrees of Virgo is where this eclipse is going, occurring, right? And so this is a certain house for you in your chart. And the more I dive deeper into astrology, I really am starting to, I mean, it's very logical, but I'm starting to understand more and more that astrology is personal. So you need to know your chart. I advise you to make a little note yourself. You know, house 1 is Virgo, house 2 is this, you know. So when you know, and I would advise you to also write down the degrees, you know. Most astrology websites kind of like spit out to you the degrees and all that, so you don't even need to understand an astrology chart. Just know your basics, you know. What degree is your sun? What degree is your Mercury? What degree is your Venus and Pluto and all that? Make a little list for yourself and check every at least eclipse, because those are the major astrology points. And they are very, you know, it's an upheaval. It's a big change that will be felt. So, you know, the house that 23, 24 degrees of Virgo is at, let's say the 4th house, then this is an eclipse about your home, about your family, about your ancestry, about your childhood trauma, right? You know, maybe you feel the change, the need to change your home environment, the need to change your, how you feel nurtured and taken care of. You know, are you now going to look for that? Or is there a chapter closing regarding this in your home, family, and all that? If Virgo 23, 24 degrees is in your 10th house, then it's likely that a career, a job is ending, or your persona, your public persona, is changing. You're not going to be seen the way you were seen. You're not going to be known the way you were known. And let's say if it's in the 7th house, then it's likely that a relationship is changing, or a business is changing. You know, if this is in the 11th house, then this is about your hopes and wishes, perhaps the way you network. Maybe some friends are going to exit your life. Maybe you want to find new people around you. Maybe let's say if you are a YouTuber, you're closing your channel, you're starting something else. You know, a lot of things. If Virgo's in your 6th house, then this is about health, maybe something physical. Something's changing there. Now, the South Node Virgo is key player here because it's right next to the moon, you know, in this lunation. So, and that generally means letting go of the toxic Virgo traits, like I said, right? Control and all that. But it's because Virgo is about the body and the mind. It's also that means that we need to let go of certain things in our body and the way we think, the way we perhaps obsess about things, the way we create anxiety about things. Maybe we are too perfectionistic, which is a very, you know, toxic Virgo trait. We need to let go of the toxicity in our body. So we need to do our detoxes, maybe some intermittent fasting or some other ways of fasting. Maybe you need some detox baths, or Maybe you need to really clean up your nutrition. Things we need to let go of, you know, in the house that this occurs in, and the Virgo energy. For instance, Virgo can also be about the hard work, and so very much about productivity. It has to be efficient. And the thing is that is a lot of demand on us. And are we taking care of ourselves? Is it depleting us? Maybe we need to lower the idea of productivity, because why does everything have to be useful? Are you not enough the way you are? Why do you need to show off and always, you know, improve? Is there something lacking? Why do you always think in lack? You know? So it's really about almost feeling like you're enough. Like who you are, what you're doing is enough. You don't always need to do better. You are better. And we need to come down into ourselves and ask what we really need, and not the modern work-life society that demands a lot and programs us, pressures us with the idea that you have to really work hard to be of meaning. There are many other ways that you can be of service, but it should never be more than you can handle. But we're all taught that we need to do a lot, and especially as women, you know, a lot of is required, you know, domestic life, cleaning up, working, being a mom, being a best friend. It's kind of the Virgo vibe to need to do all of those things, and of course do it in the best way. You have to be the best. And well, it's not about that. It's not about the hard work. It's not about being the best. Calm down. You know, relieve yourself of that pressure and lean into the calmness. Lean into that you are enough. You need to let go of self-critique, of critiquing others. And this ties into feeling enough, right? So go easy on yourself, and also go easy on other people. Relax. Now, Virgo is more like left brain, and Pisces, where the sun is at, we're going to talk about that a little bit as well, that's the right brain. And so, you know, ideally, of course, there's a balance between left and right. You know, one more than the other is never good. This lunation with the South Node at Virgo means we need to let go of the left brain area, which is that of logic, of rationality, of trying to make sense of things. I think that's what's really going to weigh heavily, because we're not able to make sense of everything that will happen in March. This is why there are two personal planets retrograde, Venus and Mercury, as well as sort of Mars not really in power, just finishing a retrograde. So the whole reflectiveness of personal planets, which is about our characteristics, our behavior, the mundane, simple life, daily life, is because we're not going to make sense of what's occurring. And that's because the North Node is in Pisces, and in this lunation, the Sun is in Pisces, and also Saturn is in Pisces, right opposite this lunation. So there is a heavy weight and an urgency in the Piscean area, which is of course also where Neptune is at. Like a fellow astrologer says, the Pisces energy is the winner energy. You know, if you want to win, you follow the Piscean road, and that is letting go. That is surrendering no control, okay? Surrender to what is, and you can't make sense of it, right? We're in a very energetic and emotional, volatile place. It's not necessarily that things are very volatile around us, except in some areas of this world, of course, sadly. But there is a volatility. Maybe you can sense that already, like I said, in emotions and energy. And that generally is what occurs during an eclipse, the volatileness of energy, of current. So the frequency is very high and things are colliding because, change is imminent. And this kind of brings a bit of distress. It brings grief as well, not knowing what's going to go on, what's happening. But you need to trust and have faith and fate, right, in that Piscean nature. Believe in the mystical, believe in the unseen, believe that you're protected and guided, have more faith and have a strong intuition and invest in that Piscean energy. If you want to learn more about why the Piscean energy is so important and what that means, watch my North Node in Pisces video. I think that's pretty accurate description of the Pisces energy. So that's the winner energy, okay? If you want to be a winner, that's the vibe. So basically, in very basic terms, if that is the winner vibe, then this is the loser vibe, isn't it? The Virgo. The eclipse here in Virgo is a losing game. Things are ending, things are completing, things are being destroyed, and things, just won't be the way it was. And of course that brings sadness, and you have to feel that, and you have to go through that struggle of trying to hold on and then think that it's time to let go. And so that's internal struggle, and that could be really anything, but probably very likely emotions and behavior, and sometimes really like, your living space, the country you live in, or people around you, your job, anything. And that's where it becomes personal. Like I said, you need to look at the house where 23, 24, let's say 24 degrees of Virgo is at. That's what's going to happen to you personally, okay? So what we also see in the charts is that Uranus, is helping this lunation. Remember that I said an eclipse is of Uranian nature. So anything we need to let go of, we need to trust, we need to have more intuition and faith. It will be quick. It will be tangible. It will be physical, like a real thing in your life. It could be physical in the body. Another, again, an importance to the physical aspect of life. And this is literally your body. So again, detoxing, freeing up your physical space. Maybe somatic dancing, or qigong or tai chi, or just simple stretching, doing something physical to release the tension and the stuff that's going on in your body and has been going on for a very long time. It's a release point in the physicalness of this vehicle. But also it means potentially changes and let goes of financial things, of possessions, as that's where Uranus is at. Our reality is quite literally changing, and it could be very fast because of a trine to Uranus. There's also a sextile to Mars in the Crab, which has gone direct at the end of February, right? Like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks during this lunation. Again, a physical link, actually, you know, as Mars is about vitality as well as the physique, the body, but also drive, motivation, and planning, goal setting, something like that Virgo likes. But Mars has been going retrograde for 3 months, so our goals had to change. We needed to do a deep dive into what we want and what we want to do to get it. Kind of a Virgo vibe. This reflection means that there's a change in how we want to work. There needs to be more of an ease, as Mars is in the sign of the Crab, you know, sensitivity. We need to honor our gut feeling, which I think is interesting because Virgo, where this eclipse is at, is about digestion, right? The bowels and stomach, kind of that Virgo rules, and especially the Crab is also about the stomach, the gut. So we need to digest things with this sextile to Mars. We need to digest feelings, which is emotions. We need to digest the physicalness, our food, our experiences, you know, like that famous book, The Trauma is in the Body, or The Body Keeps the Score. Yeah, that's the book title. The Body Keeps the Score, and it's the idea that trauma is stuck in the physicalness, which, you know, a lot of therapists already knew. So that's the kind of vibe. We're able, with a trine to Uranus in Taurus, and with a sextile to Mars in the Crab, we're able to release a lot of what was in the body and in the mind, but specifically in the body. So this is a fantastic moment, a fantastic time and momentum to let go of the trauma, to let go of the body score that you kept going. So release out of your physicalness what is bothering you, what has been bothering you. And oddly, like I said, that's where the Virgo talent can come in, because there is something fantastic about you know, processing and therefore digesting emotions through cleaning, because that whole motion of, you know, almost a meditative state while you're cleaning and ordering, you're not doing that just, you know, to have a clean space and efficiency with your surrounding, but also you're clearing out stagnant energy, and you're also using your body to move through emotions. But it can also be other healing modalities that really use your body, like EFT, like EMDR, that also uses the left-right brain axis, which is excellent as well because of the, you know, Virgo and Pisces being involved here. Like I said, somatic dancing is perfect. I don't know, maybe even sauna. Like, let go, let your body dissolve the stagnant, the dense that has kept you stuck. And it could even be ancestral, right? Where Mars is at. It could be related to your family. You know, the stuff that was traumatic was inherited from previous generations, your ancestors. So what you're releasing here is not just what you experience, but it's just literally in the body. So think of like DNA, right? So stuff that was written in your DNA from your ancestors, it's stuff you need to release. And there are several ways, like I explained, to do that, but it's key, and I think you understand that this is the time to do so. Other than that, eclipses are fated, so it's divine intervention. It's not necessarily where you take control, not at all, actually, especially with the South Node in Virgo. This is not where you take control. This is where you process and you allow what is going on and have faith that it's the best for your soul. And it's just that you need to focus on your body, mind, and soul connection and ease that connection, and therefore let go and detox anything that inhibits that supreme connection between body, mind, and soul. A little addendum for my astrology geeks. There is a whole storyline, and we need to incorporate that. Thinking that or knowing that Virgo is about storylines, storytelling, I think this is quite interesting as well. So this lunar eclipse started something, a pattern, back on September 15th of 2023, when we had a new moon at 22 degrees of Virgo, right? 2 degrees below this, which is basically exact. So something started September 15th, 2023. And I remember that time very vividly for me personally, because I have, planets and points in these degrees, around these degrees of 22, 23, 24 degrees of Virgo, Sag, Gemini, and Pisces. So it's all involved, right? And I remember September 15th of 2023 being a huge enlightenment moment where I saw fully through the illusion. And I saw things for what they really are, and no more romanticizing, no more fantasy, and therefore no more self-destructiveness, because, well, it was a very deep realization about love, how an abusive situation was something I considered to be love. And that comes from a whole ancestral, heritage line that in that moment I cut through and I saw that that is not love. It cannot be. You're not treated well. So that just struck, that was like a lightning bulb in my life. I literally woke up during my sleep, how Piscean, which is the opposite side of Virgo, let's not forget. And I just was like, wow, I see clearly now. And so September 15th, 2023, around that date, think about what new realization started for you. Where is 22 degrees of Virgo in your chart? See what kind of topic that could have been for you. And so we also had an eclipse like 6 months ago, on September 18th of 2024, and that was a 25-degree lunar eclipse in Pisces, so the opposite side of where we have the eclipse now, which means that since September 15th of 2023, one whole year from 2023 to 2024, something started that also was going to end radically, right? Or be shifted, we should say, or be alchemized, to be clear, to be fully let go of, because you are able to process, accept, and forgive. So September 18th, 2024 is an important part of the storyline that we're experiencing now. And of course, today, March 14th of 2025, we have the finalization of this storyline with a lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Virgo. So basically a 2-year story, or should we say 1.5 year story of this Pisces Virgo axis, trying to let go, trying to break through and out of illusions, of lies, of deceit, of manipulation, and moving towards a realization and a more healthy balance of that left-right brain. So this makes me think of my EMDR journey. Let me briefly explain that to you so you understand how that left-right brain works. So EMDR works on the basis that your right brain, right hemisphere, is about emotions. And when you've experienced trauma or traumatic, childhood or whatever, or something's bothering you, it tends to be on the right side of your brain, like a knot in your emotional brain. And EMDR works on the idea that you need to balance the both hemispheres, not just the heavy emotional burden, but to move it towards the left side of your brain, so logic and rationality is brought in, so that the emotions are released because of the balance, and so it becomes just a story, not something that burdens you, but you might even see the value of the experience, of what it brought you. And this is how you turn pain into purpose, basically, right? So it brings you strength and empowerment. And that's basically apparently the storyline that started in September of 2023. We started to balance into the left brain, adding logic and rationality, so to have a more balanced mindset, and less emotional stress. And then, the Pisces energy is allowed to release that, to go back to the emotional side, to feel a lot more. That was September of 2024. And that could have been about health, that could have been about well-being or lack of. And then now we're back at the left side again, to be fully, balanced, to fully digest, in Virgo terms, the whole energetics, the whole emotions, to really free and liberate, shrine to Uranus words. So hope that gives you a little insight. You can go back into your diary and check these dates, so you know what this process has brought you personally. So I wish you a fantastic Virgo eclipse. Let's see what's going to happen. I think it's a great opportunity individually, and we might see a lot of cleaning up in the collective as well. A lot of things coming to an end, as these are earth signs, with a trine to Uranus as well. It's going to be something physical. It's going to be something real. Like we can touch it, we can put our finger on it. We will know whatever is ending. And just allow, let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, take care, and take care of your loved ones and yourself.